Hey, this is Kim Bellissimo, and welcome to Nature Connected. I didn't have time to go out in nature, but I am actually out in my Moroccan palace. So here's my little Moroccan palace. There's my office right there, and got too many sessions today, and so Dexter is not going to get his walk. But I thought since we have nature, I have so many roses. And I still have roses. I have roses year around, winter, spring, summer, fall. It doesn't matter. But, you know, the concept that I wanted to talk to you about is, now look at these roses in front of you. You could see the beautiful roses, but I want you to just see where your attention goes. Does it go to the dead rose in the center? Or does it go to the beautiful pink blooming rose? You know, what happens in nature, side by side, something dies, something blooms. And in our life, the same thing happens. But what is it that we're focused on in our life? Are we focused on what is dying? So many times it is we can walk into a room and the room can be cleaned, but the one thing, it's like my husband came home from a trip and I cleaned the house, and like literally the carpet was turned sideways and he's like, what happened here? But you know, there is something within all of us where it's easy for us to focus on the one aspect that isn't brought into present time, or the one thing that is dying. It's like the rose. What are you focused on? Where does your attention go? When you look at your life, when you look at other people, are you focused on kind of the dead thing or the thing that's wrong? Or are you focused on the beauty and the gratitude for the life that we have and what is growing? People tend to see things one side or the other. So how do you see your life? Now here is a way of looking at your life, kind of the aspect of, you know, people say, I really need to work on, letting go more. I really need to work on, forgiving myself. I really need to work on, and when we don't really need to work on it, we don't really need to work on anything. But if we can just see, like you do, see this dead rose, see what's dying. Now, if this rose is dying, it's dead, are we going to try to bring that rose back to life? Are we going to give it all of our attention, all of our energy, and, just hold on to it? Because maybe, it's like smelling these roses, it gives a beautiful fragrance, it's beauty, and it enhances our life. It creates a feeling within us. And when something dies, when something, has completed or ended its life cycle, what do you do? Now, in our life, we have things that, have a life cycle. Everything in our life has a life cycle. And there are certain chapters in our life of where we began a project, where we had a certain vision of what we wanted to achieve, what we wanted to do. And so when that ends, do we just focus on what we don't like? When something is ending, when we don't like the dead rose, in a sense, all we need to do is take it out and throw it away and recycle it. But, let's just take it out. But what happens is, we want to hold on to it. It was such a beautiful rose. Maybe we love this rose. But why can't we let it go? And I want you to look at something in your life of what you can't let go of. What do you hang on to? And do you hang on to it? Is it good for even me to hang on to this rose? Maybe it symbolized a wedding day. Maybe it symbolized something in your life. But when something is old and when something has died in our life, we do need to drop it. We need to recycle it. We need to let it go. And by just letting it go, now we can focus on something new. And letting go of something old, you can focus your intention right there in the rose on something new, a new beginning in your life. And just kind of, if you gaze into it, place your attention on it, admire the beauty in this new beginning. Because every day, every moment is a choice that we have to have a new beginning something new. Now, you may say, but my past, I can't let go of. And in my past, it's always been this way. A client was telling me, it's always been in my family line. We eat 3 meals a day. We can never do the 16-hour fast because that's the family I grew up in. We never skip a meal. Okay, well, can we just let go of that picture and we can have a new picture about kind of doing something new, choosing to do something new, having a new picture of beginning something new, of even trying, hey, let's do the 16-hour fast. That's simple to do. And see how my body responds to it in present time, as an example. So what do we tend to focus on? What do you focus on in your life? Do you focus on, even with another person around you, maybe how, the one thing you don't like about them? Maybe they're a few pounds overweight. And, they have all these great things and you're focused on the one thing, maybe that there's not enough consciousness around or awareness around. And so kind of when we focus on the one thing that is dead, it's really not even dead, but if you focus on something in another person, it's where something that looks dead, something where we haven't placed our awareness on that. There's all kinds of things in our life we haven't placed our awareness on, our attention to. And a lot of times, maybe, let's say, I'm just using weight as an example, of you see a person, you love this person, but you're focused on, well, they're a little overweight, and then the person feels bad. This is an example, kind of a client. Then the person feels bad because of that thought. But really, if we can just see, oh, there's just an ending here. There is where we haven't placed our attention on kind of a new beginning. Like, I want to be in my body in a new way, a new intention. I'm going to, whatever we don't like, whatever we want to let go of, whatever is dying, it means the old cycle is complete. So now it's time to create something new. Maybe the intention is, I want to have more awareness on my body. I want to, try something new. Like, for example, I'm not sure why I'm using these working out videos, or I started doing these bands in the bar and the band, and just for 10 minutes a day. And it's amazing, just in between sessions, just getting a little exercise, and with my walks, bringing more awareness into just me sitting there, doing sessions all day. Getting a big butt, sitting, because we want to look at our life of what are we aware of? Where does our attention go? Is it on what is dead or the beginning of something new? So when I always see, and my attention goes to kind of, something unconscious within our life, and just focus on what in your life is come to an ending. What in your life do you want to change? Instead of saying, oh, I really need to change this and give energy to something dead, we let it go. And now it means that, okay, let's place our attention on something new, on a new beginning, on a new choice. Maybe a relationship that you've had hasn't worked out and you've tried everything. And it's dead. Let it go. Put it down. Place attention on something new, a new beginning of, people that love you, people that'll show up for you, people that would stand in line for you, and really focus on where are you going? The rose, in a sense, or the destination or the horizon, or where our attention goes, where what our intention is, it is like driving a race car. Where are we going? Where is our focus? And if our focus is on that intention, then your energy is aligned with it. It is moving to it. You don't necessarily have to think, well, how am I going to get there? Well, we know what it is. And if we can keep kind of directing the energy to it. Now, if we see, oh no, there is a crash, something's going wrong, and I start looking here and I start to look at what it is that I don't want, which most people do. They look at what they don't want. I don't want this. Well, guess what? You start to create kind of the reality, and you start to play to that picture of what you don't want. You start to hyper focus. You can't even see these beautiful new beginnings or these new roses, these new blooms, and it's just focus on what you want. And even if you don't want this, let's say, if you don't want, I don't want somebody that's abusive, and I don't want, like my family, who was abusive or who was controlling, to create and have people like that in my life. But I had that in my past. And if we can't let go of that picture in the past of how I was abused, then we continue to look at it. And if we're looking at it, we continue to create it. And we're just learning about not letting something go. So let it go. Choose to let something go today of what you're focused on that hasn't worked, that you've done every tool and it won't work. And even you've let it go. And then somehow it kind of comes back. Here it is again, one more time. And I'm sure many of you are experiencing that in your life right now, where, it's an old pattern, something so old, and you thought you were done with it, and then here it is. Tell me, what is it that you can't seem to let go of? What is it, and where does your attention get stuck? On the old, on what's dead. When I always see something in my life kind of unconscious, we all have unconscious things. It is an opportunity. It is an opportunity to replace it with something new, a new beginning, a new chapter. And what is our new chapter today? That we are filled with the light, the loving, living light. We are filled with Christ. We are filled with spirit in the body. And when spirit is in our body, we have a new beginning. We can choose something new. So what is it that you are going to choose today? And all we need to know is we're in our Formula One car. Our attention is on the horizon. If you've ever driven a go-kart or, any kind of car, your attention has to be very focused on the horizon. Your breath and your body are completely relaxed. I've had race car driver clients, and they're supreme athletes. They're working out in the gym 6 hours a day. The body has to be, it's a meditation. Their body has to be totally relaxed. Their attention is like a laser. It's like a laser being focused. I'm going past that, goal line. I'm going to get my intention. If you are rubbernecking your intentions, looking at everything, every disaster, every kind of thing that is dead around you, or every possible, you're not going to get very far. Or what will happen is you'll just kind of go off, you'll veer off on and learn about what you don't want. You'll end up in some, mud patty. You'll end up spinning out. You'll end up in all kinds of directions, and that's okay. But, it gets us, wait a minute, here we go. I want to focus on what's new. And when something comes up, see, something dead, falling apart, and we can't let it go, we got to ask ourselves the question, why aren't we letting it go? Most times we can't let go of something because somehow this thing had served us, or we served it. And so drop it, just let it go. Choose today. Choose that your intention, your attention, go to something new. Go to something that supports you. Goes to love. Goes to a new beginning. And let this day be a new beginning for you. We learn in nature, and it's so amazing because in nature, what lives right, side by side? Something dead and something alive. That the death of something, kind of the decay, and you can see it in nature, a dead tree and then something blooming. So the decay of this, letting it go, letting it die, and then the uprise, the bloom of something new. See, both exist in the same space. What is dead? The ending, the beginning. And it exists within a circle. It exists kind of on this journey. And we want to be in the center. Because if we can move our attention and just we can allow this to die. We can allow things in our life to die, to let it go. And we can allow and be and experience the love and unity. And when you can just be, you can fill up, you can have. You can bring into the gold, into the planet. And by bringing in the gold, you can have all things. And just allowing and be. There is no attachment. Can I have someone or can I have someone? If you love something or someone, just allow them to be. You love them if you can, if they like you or if they don't like you. Love is love. And by choosing the center of your heart, kind of this position of the heart, now the cycle of life becomes in wholeness. And so by choosing the center of your heart, anything linear is a lie. When you move into your heart, you start to think in a circle. You start to think and see from the whole. You start to create from wholeness. And it isn't, kind of the opposite ends of the scale. It is that center point. So I love these little roses, these pink roses. In my garden, it's very interesting right now. It's all the pink and white roses. So just place your attention or intention in this rose, and let's just fill it up. This rose represents you, your ability to have, your ability to bloom, this receptivity and receiving the light, growing to the light, and grounding your roots down, and just being a part of nature, connected to nature, nature connected. So just as a recap today, just be looking at, what do you tend to look at? Something that is dead in people, something you don't like, or something you do like. And if you just notice what is dead, it just means that it is the ending cycle of something. And if we could just drop it and let it go and update our picture, update it for a new beginning so you can start a new chapter in your life. So sending you love, and tell me, I don't know, hi guys, good to see you. And join me for on Thursday for Energy Works, and my courses at KimberlySimo.com. And there's a lot of miracles and love coming through and in. So make sure you're connected. You are nature connected, and you are connected above. Sending my love. Thanks for joining.